it's Sharon Armstrong with the Stampin' Blends. I have had so much fun today and I just had to sit down and share it with you. This is the card that you saw on my blog and it's just gorgeous. I mean, the vibrant colors are just so pretty and I love that there's no marker marks like streak marks. It's just gorgeous. So I wanted to go over a few things with you. So the Stampin' Blends brochure that came with my Stampin' Blends has some great information in there. First of all, it has the steps, like step 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. And then it has information about the Color Me Happy project kit, which is right here. And it has all types of embellishments and envelopes, very pretty. I'll be sharing more about that with you on another day. There's also a stamp set that you could use, and you can order this as a bundle and save 10%. So, but the page that I wanted to talk to you about was this page. On this page, it just lists all the colors, but my brain puts things with our collections of ink colors, cardstock, things like that. So I went beside each one and put whether it was in the brights, the subtles, the regals, the neutrals. And I did that for all of them. It just helped me think about what colors go together in my mind. And if I was using any cardstock or DSP with my images, then I'm going to use a color family, and I'm a brights girl. So I decided to go ahead and do that. Then on this page, it talks about skin tone colors and the color lifter. There's also a choice for you to purchase the whole bundle if you want. But what this video is about today is just a few of the colors. And there's actually 6 colors: Cherry Cobbler, Bermuda Bay, Daffodil Delight, Night of Navy, Old Olive, Pumpkin Pie, and the color lifter. This thing is magic. It's, in my mind, it should just be called color eraser because it can remove color where you don't want it. So I wanted to share with you a few tips on this video. This is the Just Add Color Designer Series specialty paper. And I figured out really quickly that I could color just a few things, cut them out, and put them on a card. So here's my teapot and my tea and my little plant that I did. And I really struggled. Do I cut off that because I couldn't cut around the handle because I was still going to see part of the cup? And I just decided to embrace it and color in the plants that are in there. So the succulents. All right, so let's get started. Let me just share with you some information about the markers. First of all, they are dual tipped. There's a fine line and then there's the bolder brush line. And when I say fine line, it's not that fine. It's a pretty thick tip. And I think these are called nubs. I want you to hear that click. These are alcohol markers. They are hard to get off. The caps are hard to get off and they're kind of hard to put on, but that's for a reason. You do not want the alcohol to evaporate. So let me show you the other end. So a fatter tip. Okay, and when you're using the blenders, the Stampin' Blends, you need 2 colors at least to blend with. Okay, that's their name. You have to blend. So you could order just 1, but you're not going to be happy. You need to go ahead and get 2 in each family in the combo packs. All right, so you always want to start with the lighter color, and let's see. I'm going to start with my flower, and I'm just going to color in strokes, if you would. You could color in circles as well. Let's see if I get everything. I think so. There we go. Okay, so that was the latter color. And for smaller areas, you could use, let me use this fatter tipped area. Also, when you're using the Stampin' Blends, you just want to color a few things at a time and then get your darker color and do your blending. Now for this flower, I'm going to use the smaller nib, and I'm just going to follow some of the lines of the artist. Like that. There's another trick that you could also do, and let's see, let me move it down here. I could use a flicking motion, like that, to add color. So let me show you what you do now. You take the lighter color again, and I'm going to use the smaller nib. And I'm just going to go back to that darker color and just kind of in little small circles, I'm going to blend, hence the name. And I sure hope that you can see on the video how pretty that is. Let me see if I can hold it up just a little bit more for you. Can you see the shading? I know you're shaking your head, yes, I can tell. All right, so then the next color I'm gonna get is, while I still have the yellow, I'm going to use the darker yellow, and I'm just gonna color the center of the daisy. Next, I'm gonna take the pumpkin pie, the lighter color, and I'm also using the smaller nib, and I'm going to color this flower in the background. Also, when you're coloring, sometimes it's easier to turn the paper. Let's make sure you can still see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm just gonna color like this. Then I'm going to take my darker color, and I'm going to use the flicking motion, just giving it a little bit of shading, like that. Take the lighter color again, and blend. Oh, it's just so pretty. I sure hope y'all can see it. I hope you can tell on the video. All right, so now I'm ready for my old olive for the leaves. It just glides on like butter. Now that I have my picture turned around, I can see where I forgot one of the pumpkin pie petals, actually two of them. And yep, I decided that was a flower too. Sometimes you go, is that a leaf or a flower? Okay, let's add some shading. And blend. I know these are really small areas, so it's hard to really tell, but trust me, it's blending and it's so pretty. All right, Now, on this card, I did the red teapot. This time I'm going to change it up and I'm going to use Bermuda Bay just so I'll have a different card, but it's the same technique. I noticed that the cherry cobbler is dark because our cherry cobbler is a dark color. So I wanted to try the Bermuda Bay. And again, I have the combo and do my teapot a different color. I mean, I swear, it just seems like the ink just flows out. I'm barely doing anything. With the alcohol, you're actually moving the ink around. So you kind of want to work in the same areas. In other words, I don't want to start down here. I just want to keep moving that ink up here and letting it blend. Okay, I can tell that I got a little bit out of the line. I'm going to get my color lifter, my friend, and I'm just going to push. I'm going to push the ink back in. So it's not like it's really lifting it off completely. It's more like it's moving it back inside the line. But it's like an eraser, I'm telling you. So I don't know if you can see the darker area. Well, that's the alcohol, and when it dries, voila, it'll be perfect. All right, so now I'm going to finish coloring my teapot. I sure hope that you will give these alcohol markers a try, because having just two colors to work with, it's just so much easier. I know I've tried other brands in the past and I wasn't very good at it because I just didn't understand using like 3 colors to blend. I don't know, I just didn't quite get the concept. And the cost of our blends are just so reasonable that having to buy 2 is just so much better than having to buy 3. I think I like the Bermuda Bay teapot. What do you think? And that fine tip really gets in there. Again, moving my paper around the way I need it to. I just felt so relaxed today when I was coloring. And something came to mind years ago. I used to work for a couple that had a home-based business back before it became so popular, and I was their admin in their home. And it just used to crack me up how the lady was always coloring, like with crayons and coloring books. And I said, I'm going to the store, let me pick you up some more crayons. And she would just laugh at me and she would say, when you have to decide what colors to use, you're using brain cells. When you just sit down and watch TV or read a book, you are learning whatever the author or the TV people wanted you to learn. You're not making more brain cells. But when you have to think about colors and choosing something, you develop more brain cells. And I thought of her today, and that just made me smile. I'll have to contact her and let her know that I thought about her as I was coloring. So as you noticed, I just went around the bottom of the teapot, gave it a little bit of flicking. Now I'm gonna take the lighter color, that was the darker color. I'm gonna take the lighter color and I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna blend. And I can even take the blending around my leaves because the darker ink is still on the tip of this nub. I know that this is probably so hard to see on the video, but boy, I sure hope you can tell because it sure is pretty. All right, I'm gonna do it on the spout. And I'm not gonna keep adding because when I start blending, I can move that color around the way I want it to. Okay, what do you think? Red or Bermuda Bay? Cherry Cobbler, Bermuda Bay. I love them both, and I'm just gonna keep coloring. So let's talk about this paper a little bit while I have it out. Think about having this whole sheet of paper, doing your coloring. Maybe your hubby is at home and he wants you to hang out with him on the patio like my husband does every night. Or you're watching, you're in the house watching TV or something and he's watching his favorite show and it's just not your thing. Grab your blends and sit there and color and you will have so much fun. Then once you have this whole sheet done, you can cut it up into pieces and make a ton of cards, a ton. All you do is add a sentiment. On this set, on this card, I used the stamp set One Big Meaning, but you could pick any meaning that you have, any sentiment, and have this gorgeous card sent off to your friends. So I'm not gonna keep coloring because, well, I'm not gonna keep coloring in front of you, but I'm gonna keep coloring myself. But I just had to share this with you and I hope that you're just as excited as I am. And I hope that you will consider getting Sharon's color bundle and having a great time making a ton of cards, coloring like a kid again, and just having fun. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching.